Here on Morning Live. Remember, this is an extended edition of the program, TNA SABC, bringing you all of the officials out of the KwaZulu-Natal legislature. The Premier and all his MECs have gathered there, so this is your opportunity to ask questions. If you're living in the province, if you're outside of the province as well, and you would like to ask a question, you're more than welcome to. You know how to get hold of us. It's the Twitter handles, @Leanne Manus, @Mbuli and you can also use the hashtags TNA BizBrief and Morning Live. So that's how you can get hold of us. Here's one question that's just come through from Danny van Eerden, and he's asking this to the Premier. The question for this morning's briefing: is the Premier satisfied with all the political appointments of municipal officials? That's from Danny van Eerden. That's the one question that I've gotten so far. Hopefully lots more will come through as the breakfast continues. Peter, that's over to you.
Leanne, thank you very much indeed, and a very warm welcome back. As I said earlier, we're at Sibaya, just north of Durban, eThekwini. This is where the latest in the series of New Age business briefings brought to you by the SABC is happening, and we're talking to the Premier of the province, Dr. Zwelimkhize, with his team of MECs this morning. So, Premier, that question, let's go straight to it right off the bat. Are you happy with the political appointments to municipal managers?
Let me ask that my colleague deal with the question. Just to say, we have identified municipal managers and CFOs as critical posts, and there's a process of how we deal with it. Because we are all here, let me ask my colleague MEC Dube to deal with how we deal with it. Once somebody's been appointed, what do we do after that? I'm sure it's easier to handle it that way.
Okay, MEC Dube.
Thank you, Peter. I think we have a very clear process of appointment of senior managers, particularly the municipal managers at all our municipalities. The process is that it's very transparent, but also we are guided by the Municipal Systems and the Municipal Structures Act, which obliges us to ensure that the adverts are put in the national media. Interviews are done by a panel of all the parties or political parties or executive committee members, and then people are appointed as per their qualifications as well as their experience. We're very rigorous in our processes, and I can promise you, Peter, that out of all the people where we had to sign off those appointment of municipal managers, we are happy to say that they are not political appointments, but there are people that qualifies, but also people who have demonstrated their experience in those particular fields. Thanks.
All right. So what you're saying,
if we have a problem, there is the discretion to actually say that on this and this basis, this particular person doesn't qualify, and therefore we will not accept it. So there's the oversight from the COGTA.
All right. So it would be a coincidence if that person happens to be a member of the ruling party?
Well, we expect people who might belong to different parties. The point at the end is that both for CFOs and for municipal managers, the COGTA and Treasury have to agree that they qualify. We have actually said they must oversee the process just to make sure that they qualify. It comes from the problems of the audit outcomes. We'll be talking about that in the meeting with the mayors now. The audit outcomes have shown that part of the challenge is the capacity, and we've said we'll step in to make sure that they've got the right capacity. Those two for us are critical.
All right. Now, how far along are we in terms of right skilling our municipalities?
There's a team. Let me just again ask that my colleague MEC Cronje for Finance talk about what the effort there is on top of municipalities as well as also from COGTA, because there are a standing team that intervene on all the municipalities on that issue.
Yes, on the skills, there are regulations under the Municipal Finance Management Act that were promulgated by the National Treasury that requires all municipal officials, not only the municipal managers and CFOs, to have minimum skills. It's the regulations on the minimum competency levels. Those who are already in the employ of municipalities have a period within which to acquire those skills. There are modules that have been designed And they really then have to go, in a sense, back to school, pass those modules, and then they will be accredited as duly qualified municipal officials. In future, no municipality may employ people without the adequate skills and qualifications. And that process is being rigorously enforced. There are no exemptions allowed, only extensions. And the extensions are merely to ensure that the required skills are then acquired within the time permissible.
Okay, I'm going to turn my attention to MEC for Economic Development and Tourism. MEC Mabuyakulu, BRICS has just finished, and there was a big expectation, A, tourism on the one hand, B, that we see this BRICS Business Council coming to fruition. What have been the benefits for the province as a result of this BRICS summit which came here, which I think, congratulations on the province for hosting it so well.
Thank you. Thank you.
So your thoughts post-BRICS?
Well, thank you very much, Peter, and to the viewers at home. First and foremost, we must say that as KwaZulu-Natal, we are highly grateful that once again we've been able to become a very good, successful host in hosting the BRICS Summit that came here. And I think the BRICS Summit has been a success both in terms of the agreements that were reached by the leaders at the summit. But for us in KwaZulu-Natal, I think we were able to succeed in attracting a number of people that came here just before the Easter weekend. And that has given us huge numbers, because we are estimating that at the moment our indicative figures are showing that more than 300 million has been spent in around Durban and KwaZulu-Natal during this BRICS Summit period. But more than that, we have been able to sign 2 concrete agreements with a number of other people who are coming from the BRICS countries. First, we have signed an agreement between DTP, Dubai Trade Port, as well as the Action Group in India, which would actually see them exploring the possibility of investment in the DTP platform in excess of about 2 billion South African rands. The second one is that we have also signed a memorandum of understanding between the Shanghai Pension together with us at DTP. It was KwaZulu-Natal memorandum, and that memorandum actually would explore investment to the tune of about 2.7 billion rands. Now, all of these therefore indicate that by hosting these events, we're not only just become a successful host and therefore marketing our destination, but we're also able to achieve quite a bit more by ensuring that now we've got opportunities in the region of more close to about 4.5 billion worth of investments.
All right, I'm going to go to our table straight away, because there's a number of questions we could ask, but let's see what's on the people's mind and see what your thoughts are on that. Let's go to Melanie Finesse. I hope I said that name. If Melanie could stand up and just say your name again. Your microphone is coming to you. Otherwise, we might have to lip read.
Hi, I'm Melanie Vaness. I'm the CEO of the Pietermaritzburg Chamber of Business. And my question is for the Premier, Honourable Premier. Dr. Mkhize, there's been a national decision to keep electricity tariffs at a very reasonable level in view of the economic crisis, and in view, obviously, of the job losses through manufacturing, which our province is heavily reliant on. My question to you is why, in view of this, are our municipalities proposing excessive tariff increases way above the NERSA recommended tariff increase? It seems to negate the decision that's made at a national level. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Firstly, let me say that the municipalities have got a responsibility to act as service providers in electricity, and therefore they do have a degree of autonomy in managing how they deal with electricity. Is one of their major sources of revenue. The way to deal with it is to actually engage in a dialogue We will be sitting here going through the discussions, but we will also put the matter through for the mayors in various districts to have a look at that matter. It's a matter that I think belongs to a form of negotiation between various municipalities so that the concerns of the business in that area get taken into account. We also propose a standing arrangement where the local business and the municipality must be involved in a continuous dialogue so that they can always mediate through the issues that relate to
Okay, Bishop Mike Forster. Yeah. Okay, he's at the back there.
I had two questions. The one was related to the electricity, but I'd rather concentrate on the other question. It's related to the water supply in the northern KwaZulu-Natal area where we have that huge Jozini Dam. And my understanding is that water is pumped to Greytown and Swaziland, but the people in that area do not benefit whatsoever from the water in that area. Are there any plans? I've heard that they keep on saying you've got to wait another 15 years before you actually benefit from the Jozini Dam. Is there any way in which we can hasten that process? We can build big stadiums. Surely we can do that.
Which, obviously...
Very reasonable question, comment or question from Bishop, and thank you very much. We have a program which has been called the Shemula Water Scheme, which is to deal with this. The problem of people who are living half a kilometer away from the dam not having water is an old apartheid problem, and we are actually having it's not only in that area, and it's a very, very sensitive problem. But let me ask one of our district champions in that area for rural development, my colleague Emisi Mabuya-Kulu, to just talk about it.
Thank you very much, Premier. Well, let me say that it's a challenge we have been very aware of. We had a summit, a water summit that took place early this year in around that area, the whole of the district of Mkanyagute. And even before that summit, one of the things that has been important about it is that in that district, we now got a comprehensive water delivery plan that exists in the Mkanyagute area. But in the current financial year, you have an excess of about 180 million that is beginning to have a water augmentation scheme that will take water out of the Jozini Dam and to try and have a process of ensuring that local community have access. But in the next 3 to 4 years, we have got a budget that is just under $1 billion, which is earmarked to ensure that communities in around there are able to have access to water. Of course, we do realize the fact that the whole plan, for it to be fully funded, requires in the region of about 20 billion rands. But we think, therefore, that we will actually be moving ahead with the resources available, but also looking at other strategies of how you can be able to get additional resources to ensure that the people have access to water. But there is now a comprehensive strategy run under the mayor of that district, Mayor Vilane, and the entire team of municipalities in Mkanyagute that are working together to deal precisely with this challenge.